started. There we go. Okie doke. We're now back where we started. So let's start taking some of these items. I'll take the ticket, the hilt, and the sword's blade, and the bottle. Okay, now I've got all the items we need for the next part of the game. So let's go back into this trackless forest, but this time if we go northeast from here, we find there's a little bird singing nearby, which we can follow twice. And we now find ourselves on a shore, and there's an isle in the distance. Now, there's a brooch here, which we'll get. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Okay, now, we want to get to this misty isle, and to do so we need to play the harp. But doing so now will have no effect, and it's not because you're a bad musician, it's just because the harp needs tuning. Okay, if we now play the harp, we find ourselves transported magically to this isle, and its helpful craftsmen mend the sword for you. That's the only reason for going to this isle. It's just so that if you have both parts of the sword with you, that they'll fix it. And we now need to leave. The way to leave this place is to wave the ferry ticket. A swarm of creatures take the tickets. Okay. You end up back on the beach, but you have aged considerably, and we're now on the verge of death. Taking any action now will result in death because you're so old. What you need to do immediately is to drink the elixir. Doing so in any other circumstance will kill you because you end up just shrinking into nothingness. You just shrink and die. But drinking it now restores your youth. Okay, so we've done that, we survived. While we're here, we might as well fill the bottle with some water. We'll need that very soon. Okay, let's try and get back to where we started again. We'll find that quite a few things have now changed because a long time has passed. Okay, if we head west now. Okay, now those spiders have all grown up. There are now 3 spiders, one on each layer of the web, and we need to be very careful here. Each spider, there's 1 spider to each layer of the web, and each spider can move either anti-clockwise or clockwise. And if you go to a location where there's a spider, or to where a spider is moving, then the spider kills you. So we need to be very careful here. Now, I'm trying to get back to the far southwest part of the web, so I can go to that cave where I left those mushrooms and that mirror. And I'd also like to go to the centre of the web, because there's an item there which I want. Okay, so let's try and do this. Now there's, on the outer edge, a spider on the southeast. So if I were to go west now to the east part of the web, there's a chance that the spider would kill me because it could go anti-clockwise and we'd meet. So that's no good. I'll need to wait. Okay, the one on the outer edge has now moved to the southwest, which is good. So let's go west. Okie doke. Let's go clockwise around the web for a bit. Okay, we're not being very lucky here. These spiders are very much in our way. Yeah, just bear with me then. Tricky this. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Let's go towards the middle of the web then. There we go, we've made it. Okay, there's a heap of bones here, so let's take those with us. Now I need to go to the far southwest of the web. So, that should be safe. So should that. Okay, now we need to be a little bit careful. There we go. Okay, we can now go back into the cave. Nothing has changed, the items haven't disappeared, so we can now take the mushrooms and the mirror. Now I need to be careful here because this mirror is lethal. If you try and leave the cave now, then you'll find that whilst leaving the cave you stare into the mirror, and as you do so the flames around you reach searing temperatures and do become real, and you die. I guess you could throw the mirror out of the cave, but even if you have the mirror outside of the cave, whenever you move around from one location to another while holding the mirror in your inventory, more often than not, as you travel, you just die. It just says, while gazing into the mirror whilst walking, you fall into a hole. So it's a very dangerous piece of kit, this. The way to get around it is to turn the mirror so it can't do you any more harm. Okay, now let's leave. Okay, we just need to contend with the spiders one more time. Let's wait. And again. And again. Okay, come on. There we go. That's not good. Good, we've done it. Okay, we're at the end of the road again. Now, let's go back and see the knight. He's aged quite a bit, but he must have been a lot younger than us. A lot of things in this game don't really make sense, like the cave at the beginning. You went down into the cave to start off with, and you left the cave by going down through a hole, and yet you ended up back at the end of the road, which doesn't make sense. And this knight, he must have been considerably younger than you, because the only reason that you survived for this long was by drinking an elixir of youth. So this knight must have been very young to survive for this long. Now, we don't have a rod to give him, and he's still in our way. The way to get past him this time is to throw water at him. Well, before I do this, before I forget, I need to deposit some more items here before I start on the next part of the game. Let's put the treasures in the bank. Oops. I'll put the sword in there for now, our fully formed sword. Let's put the medal in there. Okay. Now, let's throw the water at him. If we do it in the other way around, if you throw water at him the first time, hoping to give him the rod the second time round, that won't work. He'll just kill you on sight the second time you meet him for ruining his armour. So we can now slip past him. Now there's an elderly golden dragon here, and we can now get past this dragon by playing the harp, and that lulls it to sleep. Okay, the sapling we planted ages ago has now become a large climbable tree, so let's climb it and head east. There's a golden apple here, so we'll take the apple and we'll go west. The goddesses block your way, demanding that you give them the apple, a prize in a beauty contest. Now, it being a beauty contest, we can assume that they're pretty vain, so rather than give them the apple, we'll give them this rather dangerous mirror. There we go. Okie doke, let's carry on west. And here we find a sign saying, first known branch office, interest paid on all manner of goods like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so let's deposit some items here. deposit the harp, and deposit the apple. Okay, let's also withdraw an item. I want to withdraw the rock. When you withdraw an item, it drops in front of you. It doesn't appear in your inventory. You need to actually pick it up. The reason I want the rock is because what it does, it acts as a light source. It's like having a torch with you. So if we were to go into a dark area without the rock, it would just be pitch black. So and this Let's Play wouldn't be very interesting. Let's take the rock with us. Okay. Okay, let's go down from the tree. The dragon's asleep, so let's go past it. Okay, now this is possibly the most difficult puzzle in the entire game. Oh, first off, there's a okay, so there's a small cave nearby. It's boarded up with a sign saying "Emergency Only." And there's a red and white striped pole standing vertically here. I'm not entirely sure what the relevance of the pole is. I think the relevance of it is that if you go up the pole, then it'll let you save it, because I guess if you're sitting on the top of a pole, then the nice man can't tell you not to save it. Okay, the question is, where do we go from here? There's nowhere else to go. You can't get into the cave. It's all boarded up. This is very surreal. What you need to do is you need to save it. And you're told that you can't save it. So let's save it again. Okay, and those bouncers come and beat us up. And you manage to knock off a pair of dark glasses from one of them. Now, you're in agony now. Now the next move kills us. Doesn't matter what you do, with dead next move, that's what happens. Let's make our very last move in this game, getting the glasses. And then we should now die, but what happens is that because you're outside this this place, this emergency only cave, a man in a white coat runs out and he saves your life. Okay, you are now in the cave. You're in a dingy shop, and there is a capsule here and a wheezing apothecary who wants payment. So for now, let's get the capsule and let's pay the apothecary in my favourite currency, mushrooms. Okay, he grins and pushes you out from a magic door. Okay, this area that you're in now, this is where you normally get transported to if you were to say the word Morks. Okay, now this is an interesting area. If you're carrying any item in your inventory which is classified as treasure, and you try going north, then this fanged customs official kills you. He just says, bells ring, lunchtime, and he grabs you and he eats you. What you need to do is declare any treasures you have, and treasures can be identified by the fact that they have an exclamation mark after their description. But I do believe we don't have any treasures on us at the moment, because we deposited all of them. So let's head north through the door. Okay, we're in a small town square full of churches and monuments. The Spanish Inquisition are here debating our future, and there's some rope which we'll get. Now, when I played this when I was a kid, I didn't understand who the Spanish Inquisition actually were, so I was unable to solve this puzzle. But what you need to do is pray. And if you pray again, you see, in this area you can't go anywhere because the crowd block your path until you pray. If you pray again, then a cardinal gives us a cross, which is jolly nice of him. Let's get the cross and head west. Okay, we're now in a desert, and it says you're thirsty. Now, each move you spend in the desert, you become more and more thirsty until you die. Let's, while we're here, dig a hole.